Shadow Tenta continuing to farm up, looking to maximise energy. The opponent tries their luck, making the catch. Not today, trainer. I'm looking top right. If the opponent brings back out Toxapex, which they do, we're going to show the opponent how to catching the Sludge Wave back onto the low health Quagman. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Jamie Finn 1415, and today we are actually shoutcasting my own battles. I took the first 10 days off of the season. We're finally at rank 17 and we're climbing towards Elo. My first battles of the season were on my buddy King GBL's YouTube. Shout out to my friend King. If you don't follow him, you should. He's a very talented battler and currently in the top 250 players in the world on the GBL leaderboards. Since then, I've been battling on my Discord. If you're not in the Discord, I'd highly recommend checking it out. It's linked down below. And we've been taking team recommendations. We've run all sorts of nonsense, including Shadow Sharpedo. 2 days ago, Zemoustache said, run triple water with Quagsire, Tentacruel and Lapras. We did go 16 and 4, but it was the early ranks, and I don't think Lapras was the source I was looking for. The next day, Summers hopped on our Discord stream and said, get rid of Lapras and run Kingdra again. We went 19 and 6, and the team did perform exceptionally. So today, we're going to be taking a look at that team. Without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game one, we lead the Quagman into the Snail. You love to see it. The opponent say switches into Jellicent. We could go Kingdra, however, I'm going to look to chip and dip or force myself early shield advantage. We force in the Stone Edge, forces a Protect Shield. The opponent builds to a potential Shadow Ball. We've got triple water trainer, enjoy yourself. The opponent baits with a Surf. I am going to invest the Protect Shield, knowing Quagman is such a solid response to the Snail. We're then going to look to fire off the next Stone Edge after 4 Mud Shots, and now we're in the guessing game. I'd love to catch a double resisted Surf onto Kingdra, but when will the opponent throw? We're going to try our luck at making that catch unsuccessfully, but the opponent can full send a Shadow Ball. We might be glassy, but we do survive one. The opponent, switch timer pops up. They send back out the Snail, sacrificing it to the Pokegods. The Snail's going to be straight in and straight out. Octazooka gets that one hit KO, and the opponent sends out their third, which is Trevenant. Switch timers are heavily misaligned, so I'm going to wait out my clock, hoping we can catch the potential Shadow Ball onto the Quagman. You can see switch timer doesn't pop up, so the safe play here is just to invest the Protect Shield. We're then going to overfarm just by 1, throw in the Scald. The overfarm by 1 is key, as we're going to CMP tie Jellicent to the Shadow Ball. The opponent will be jamming the charge move, but Tentacruel has the higher attack, and that is going to be all she wrote. A Scald will very much put this thing into Aqua Tail range. You're going to see the notification. The opponent recognises the game's over. They do concede the match, and we're off to a 1-0 start. GG's, and thanks for playing. In the next battle, we see the Quagman into the Kentucky Fried Chicken. Bird of Death. We always say no baits on this channel, and every time I bait, the opponent calls it. Jamie Finn, you are so washed up. We land the Aqua Tail. Pivot into Squidward, drawing out Electrode. Of course, the opponent is hitting us for super effective. If they don't respect this, we can very easily one shield, poison jab farm all the way down. And if the opponent thinks this is their best Tentacruel answer, Tentacruel is very much going to pop off. If the opponent sends back out Talonflame, they're going to be forced to throw energy. You can see we do get denied because despite this being season 19, the game still runs like shit. But regardless, we can send out Kingdra, get the Dragon Breath farm down. The opponent has their own Kingdra in the back. We're just going to fire off the Octazooka. Of course, this is double resisted. The opponent's kind of forced to shield. Switch timer pops up. We're going to pivot into our own Quagman. Even if the opponent Octazooka debuff me here, this game is very much over. We're baited once. Fuck it. We're going to kill yet another poor defenseless cat, Aqua Tail. Forces the final Protect Shield. To be honest, an Aqua Tail, despite being double resisted, probably would knock out, but why not YOLO the Stone Edge? And we take that game. In the next battle, we see Vigoroth, aka the cheeky little monkey or the king of the theme cup. Call it whatever you like. I personally call it an annoying little shit. We fire off the Aqua Tail. We do outpace this thing. We're straight 4s. They're straight 5s. You can see 2 Aqua Tails won't be lethal, but do put this thing into perfect farm down range for either Pokemon. The opponent tries their luck catching the Aqua Tail. We're going to hold our energy, fire off the Stone Edge. Stone Edge lands for some very respectable damage, and we send out Kingdra. The opponent only really has one shot at landing the Shadow Ball. They're not going to be able to Surf Bait and then reach a Shadow Ball. So we invest the Protection here, and the opponent full sends. If Vigoroth does return, we're going to fire off the Octazooka on the charge attack priority. A debuff here would be very nice because the body slam won't do too much damage. We don't get the debuff, Kingdra insanely glassy. This body slam is going to do so much. Kingdra, where is your bulk? The opponent then makes a very heads-up play, sending out Pidgeot and getting the perfect farm down. We're now in the guessing game of when will the opponent throw. So logically, the opponent can only throw 12 wing attacks because that'll put them at 96 energy. The catch isn't the cleanest, but we do make the catch. The opponent full sends the Brave Bird, and this should pretty much be all she wrote. Regardless, even if this is a Feather Dance, I really don't care. The opponent does go for the Feather Dance. We're just going to poison jab, farm down everything. The opponent recognised the game's over and concede the match. In the next battle, we see Dubwool, a very, very annoying Pokemon. Essentially, 2 body slams knock out a Shadow Quag, and they are so spammy to him, only taking 3 double kicks or 9 turns. We tank the first body slam, return fire with the Aqua Tail. You can see Dubwool has very respectable bulk that didn't do all that much damage. The opponent tries their luck at catching an Aqua Tail. Despite this being rank 17, my win rate is around 70%, so we're not playing complete potatoes. The opponent unsuccessful on the catch, but we do return the favour, catching the Aerial Ace onto Tentacruel. Of course, you might be thinking, why don't I go Kingdra here? Well, this Summer Cup's been around for about 2 weeks, and I'm almost certain I know what's in the back, because people are using essentially the same few teams. It's going to be a Mud Boy in the back, either Quagsire or Wish Daddy Cash. Both of them absolutely shut down my squid, so we're just going to sacrifice it. The opponent can take me out with the next Aerial Ace. We have lowered their defense, and this looks like a perfect opportunity for Kingdra to come in, get the Dragon Breath farm down. The opponent not wanting to give me free farm, send out Dubwool. I'm hoping that we can Dragon Breath farm this thing all the way down before the next body slam. Oh, that is so annoying. Shielding this is a huge mistake as well. We know it's going to be a Mud Boy. Body slam doesn't knock out, and they're applying very little fast move pressure. Shielding that has put me in a rough spot. To be honest, it's just frustration more than anything else. And again, I think YOLO in the nuke here is a huge mistake, as the opponent more or less is forced to shield. We've baited far too much in this video, so we do full send the Outrage, looking to sneak it through a Protect Shield. We're unsuccessful. We allow the opponent to build up to the Stone Edge, look to catch onto Quag. The opponent threw 7 Mud Shots and then Mud Bombed. I'm very confused by that play. Again, I make another mistake, not committing to the Outrage. The opponent again at the Stone Edge, which they have. I played that game so poorly. However, I do say I'm the most washed up battler in the world, and that is very much evidence of it. So you could definitely beat that team comp if you just don't play like a potato like I did. In the next battle, we see Girafarig in the lead. We haven't played all that well to this point, so we need to start cooking. We throw 5 Mud Shots and the Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail forces the Protect Shield. We know this is only a Psychic Fang. Quag will survive, and we're going to get off the next Aqua Tail, force some chip damage, and then we're going to look to aggressively snipe it with Kingdra. Aqua Tail lands. We see the pivot into Kingdra. Look for the Dragon Breath farm down, again unsuccessfully. So far in this video, it looks like we're getting very unsuccessful, oppressive Dragon Breath farm downs, but it is what it is. Dragon Breath is very toxic, in my humble opinion, so I probably deserve it. Out comes Toxapex. We YOLO the Outrage. To my surprise, the opponent invests that Protect Shield. My logic in YOLO in there is who shields Toxapex? That fucking stupid nipple is essentially the 3rd and the 4th shield. We have now put the opponent all shields down. We now send out Squidward. Squidward going to operate as a complete wall to all of this energy. Toxapex doesn't hit particularly hard at the best of times. We're just going to continue to farm up. The opponent going to try their luck at making that catch. Not today, trainer. I'm looking top right. If they bring back out Toxapex, we're the ones looking to make the catch. Back out comes Toxapex. We catch the Sludge Wave. Back onto the low health Quagman. Finally, we're cooking. As the opponent tried to make a catch, they're now switch locked. Scold isn't going to be lethal, and it's going to leave this Toxapex in perfect farm down range. Squidward going to get the perfect farm down, leave at almost 100 energy. The opponent's final Pokemon is Vigoroth. You know the drill. The first Scold will be putting them below half health, and the second Scold is going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. In the next battle, we'll lead the Quagman into Agrav. When I see Agrav, I'm thinking toxic nonsense backline. The opponent actually sends out the Flying Toilet. I respect it. I try my luck at making a Weather Ball catch, but the opponent shows great discipline, hold their energy, and then YOLO the Hurricane. Very nice trainer, I respect it. Tentacruel able to hang on, reach the Scold. Scold will put this into perfect Dragon Breath farm down range, and we don't really need switch, as both Kingdra and the Quagman are going to do very well into Graveler. The opponent leaves with a Weather Ball. We send out Kingdra. The opponent instantly throw the Weather Ball, which is double resisted. It's an easy tank for Kingdra, and we've now got a running start. The opponent lightly send out Agrav because it is so poor into the Quagman. They send out Agrav. And then we're going to look to make the Rock Blast catch. back onto the Quagman and start getting ahead in energy. The opponent does fire off the Rock Blast. They then send out Slowbro. Of course, we're not going to bait. No baiting anymore. We full send the first Stone Edge. Stone Edge forces the Protect Shield. And again, we're just going to full send. Because worst case scenario, we'll just outrage this thing later. The next Stone Edge lands. The opponent looks for the Confusion farm down Quag. Far too spammy. Reaches the Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail goes unshielded. We snipe with one Dragon Breath. The opponent loses all of their energy. Back out comes Agrav. We fire off the Octazooka. The opponent recognises the games are over. Tank the charge move. And we're going to move swiftly on. In the next battle, we see the Kentucky Fried Chicken, Bird of Death in the lead. Very nice. For our entire team, any fire type is essentially a win if I'm being honest. The opponent safe switches into Obstagoon. Evidently this trainer getting very bored and very annoyed with all the toxic confusion teams. Obstagoon, I respect it. We look to chip and dip with the Aqua Tail. Landing an Aqua Tail would have allowed me to poison jab farm this Obstagoon all the way down. We force a shield, which is probably even better. They then fire off the Night Slash after lowering my defense, but Squidward far too thick. We land the Skull, get the perfect poison jab farm down. The opponent then sends out Charger Bug. Of course, we're just going to send out the Quagman, and this already looks like game over. One Stone Edge doesn't quite knock out. However, after two poison jabs from Squidward, they very quickly found himself in Stone Edge range. The opponent only with one Protect Shield, too high behind. Shield up the Stone Edge. We can just match shields in return. I'm just going to make sure I see the Volt Switch start. Throw the Stone Edge at this Charger Bug. The 9-volt battery going to quickly find itself vanquished. Back to its Pokeball. Get that Charger Bug off my screen. We pivot into Kingdra. The opponent recognised the game's over and concede the match. GG's. In the next battle, we see someone else using Kingdra. We safe switch into Squidward and we're met by Charger Bug. The opponent doesn't throw immediately, allowing me to reach a Scold. Scold actually forces a Protect Shield and we get the attack drop. So despite things looking rough, we do have some play. The opponent is going to need to discharge to knock out. They actually fire off the X-Scissor. They're now forced to throw or reach a Scold. The opponent fires off yet another X-Scissor. And we're actually not sitting in the worst spot here. What we're going to need to do is maximise energy with Quag, as the opponent is debuffed. We can easily tank one X-Scissor. We could, in fairness, tank two. However, if we do tank two, we're going to be quite low. I'm actually going to shield this up. We're going to get to 100 energy, or close to anyway. I believe we're actually at 99. We actually go for an undercharge, but Nice still knocks out, and we've got the Stone Edge bank back out. Comes Kingdra. We full send the Stone Edge, hoping the opponent looks to call the bait, but of course they invest that Protect Shield. We know we are going to be able to reach one further Stone Edge, but the opponent makes a very nice catch, catching onto Toxapex. This is where things get interesting. My Kingdra has a 6 attack. It's actually not the best PvP IVs, to be brutally honest. In fairness, I think I should have fired off the Outrage there and then looked just to Dragon Breath farming down. But what I'm banking on is the fact that we're going to win CMP. We shield up the Sludge Wave. This is only a Bright and it's going to come down to a charge attack priority. We're going to risk it for a biscuit. Do we win CMP? We're spamming the Outrage, but evidently the opponent has an even higher attack than me. And Jamie Finn throws another game. GG's to that opponent. In the next battle, what the heck is on my screen? Ivysaur, we're going to save switch into Squidward, drawing out Wish Daddy Cash. Not fantastic. The opponent fires off the Mud Bomb, which we do survive, and we are going to return fire with a Scold. Scold will get this thing into Aqua Tail range, and again, we get very lucky getting the debuff. The opponent now opt to throw more energy, and this is going to allow Quagman to come in, heavily over farm, and look to fire off the Stone Edge onto Ivysaur. In this matchup, Quagsire generally wins CMP, so I could fire off the Aqua Tail immediately and keep maximum health. But I don't need health, what I need is energy, because that Ivysaur matchup is dreadful. As we take double super effective from grass, so I tank the first charge move, fire off the Aqua Tail on the CMP tie, and we've now got a huge energy lead back out. Comes Ivysaur, I look to sneak the Stone Edge, through two Protect Shields, it lands, and we aggressively send out Kingdra. The opponent stays in, so I'm hoping they're weak in the back. Of course, I'm just going to shield anything. The opponent fire off the Sludge Bomb. I don't know why. We're going to roll with it, and out comes Vigoroth. We really need a debuff. Please get the debuff. We've got a 50% chance. Do we get it? Yes, we do. Okay, this is now very playable. You can see that Body Slam doesn't do all that much damage, and the opponent is going to be forced to throw again. I'm just going to have to put it all on the Quagman. Look to clean up. Quagman does have health. And we do outpace this cheeky little monkey. I believe Ivysaur, after taking one additional Dragon Breath, should be in Mudshot farm down range. We're going to fire off the Aqua Tail, and then I'm going to pause, ensuring Vigoroth is still on the screen. The opponent actually chooses to let it go back out, comes Ivysaur, we look for the Mud Shot farm down, and we Simul KO. We're going to take that, considering the lead and save switch. In the next battle, we see Typhlosion lead. The opponent save switches into Victory Bell, and I respond with Tentacruel. I'm going to go straight for the debuff. Looking to lower his Victory Bell's defense. The opponent looks for the Razor Leaf farm down. Tentacruel holds strong, and we get the Simul KO. To be honest, switch advantage isn't important to me, as both my Pokemon do very well into Typhlosion. We send out Kingdra. The opponent sends back out Typhlosion, but they're only going to reach one move. This is the easiest shield of my life. We shield at the Thunder Punch, Dragon Breath farm all the way down. The opponent's final Pokemon is Magnezone. What a pick. Very nice team from this opponent. We're going to fire off the Octazooka. Octazooka forces the Protect Shield. We pivot out into the Quagman, reach the Aqua Tail, and that is probably going to be the quickest GBL game you're ever going to see. GG's to that opponent. In the next battle, we see the Nightmare lead. We're going to save switch into Big Squidward, and our Squidward save switch is met by Charger Bug. To be honest, when I was playing these battles on stream, Summers was saying, Jamie, that isn't the save switch, Kingdra is, but I'm a creature of habit, and when I'm left to my own devices, we do all sorts of nonsense. Tentacruel isn't the best save switch because of the prevalence of this bug. It's literally on like 65% of teams. We tank the X-Scissor, overfarm, fire off the Stone Edge. Stone Edge goes unshielded, and we're going to look to land a Stone Edge on this Trevenant. Like I said earlier, every time I bait, the opponents call it, and every time I look to nuke, 95% of them are shielded. We send out Kingdra. Kingdra tearing through this tree with the Dragon Breath, but even a Seed Bomb's going to do big damage because Kingdra cannot tank a hit for shit. The opponent stays in, look to force both my Protect Shield, and then they're going to send out Vigoroth. I'm hoping my switch timer pops up. It does not, so we're just going to YOLO the Outrage on the charge attack priority. The opponent invests that Protect Shield, even an Octazooka debuff there. Wouldn't have saved me, so Wincon would be landing the Outrage. You can see Body Slam gets me insanely low. GG's buddy, I'm going to concede and move swiftly on. Back-to-back grass leads. I know someone watching this video is thinking, how do you beat Ferrothorn? It beats the entirety of a team. I'll be honest, it does, and it's a problem. The opponent doesn't build up to the Thunder, so we know we can tank one move. The opponent gives me a huge energy lead and then sends out the ever-annoying Toxapex. As I got a huge energy lead, I opt to fire off the Acid Spray first, just looking to do more Poison Jab damage. Now, I am going to be able to outpace to a Scald. Acid Spray lowers their defense by 2 stages. You can see that actually does quite a lot of damage. We get the attack drop, and we're even going to force some energy here. Things still don't look fantastic. We're going to look to try and cook something up. We're going to send out the Quagman and look to heavily overfarm. It's always a debate. Do you want Aqua Tail or do you want Mud Bomb? To be honest, I think it's 50-50. Of course, Mud Bomb would be very nice into Ferrothorn. But overall, I really like the pacing of Aqua Tail. You can see we do get a massive Mud Shot farm down and we leave with so much energy. Out comes Ferrothorn. We're going to look to fire off the Stone Edge. Both moves are resisted. The Stone Edge will do more damage. You can see it still just tickles. And we're going to pivot into Kingdra. Of course, I'm going to need to start shielding. As the opponent's staying in, perhaps they're weak in the back. Holy cow, a fire type. Earlier in the video I said, if we see a fire type, it's a free win. The opponent's got Ferrothorn that beats the entirety of my team. But the entirety of my team beats a fire type. We force one protection with the Octazooka. We correctly shield the Scorching Sands, and suddenly the game looks in our hands. The opponent's only going to reach a double resisted Weather Ball. That's just going to tickle, and we've got so much energy to fire off at the return in Ferrothorn. The Prickly Bush dumped its energy. Before it exits, we're going to be able to outpace the double Octazooka. The first one actually forces the Protect Shield. We're going to fire off the next one on the charge attack priority. If this doesn't knock out, we've got an Aqua Tail banked. It isn't lethal, but regardless, this is going to be game over. So how do you beat a Ferrothorn just like that? To be honest, we're very grateful it was a fire type in the back. Ferrothorn, insanely hard for this team, but you can see sometimes you're still going to beat it. GG's to that trainer. In the next battle is the A-Grav in the lead with a save switch of Victory Bell. To my surprise, it's running Magical Leaf. Does this mean they're not running a variation of Grass Hole? I highly doubt it. I'm just going to maintain alignment at all costs. The opponent actually fired off the Leaf Tornado, which I didn't need to shield, but regardless, I don't give a crap. We're just going to maintain alignment and keep Quag nowhere near that second grass type they're likely of lurking. If the opponent shields this will confirm it's going to be double grass. They know we've got Quag. There's no reason to shield this unless you're looking to kill Tentacruel. We force our Protect Shield back. We send out Quag, and I'm looking top right. As soon as I see that grass typing come in, I am going to spam the switch. There it is, and it is Ludicolo. We're both hitting each other with a neutral, but Kingdra's lack of bulk is evidently on display here. We're going to fire off the Octazooka. A debuff would be nice, or a Protect Shield would be even better. We actually get both, which is going to put this thing very much into Aqua Tail range. Quagsire has the Aqua Tail banked. Quagsire is a Ludicolo counter confirmed. Just kidding. But the opponent has rudely force closed the app. They probably threw their phone against the wall, thinking, how did my Grasshole team, with two very toxic grass types in the back, lose to triple water? Well, trainer, you deserve it. Because if you're going to run this nonsense, you deserve to lose 100 times in a row. Heading into the next battle, we see the battle of Mud Boys. Another matchup where Aqua Tail is very nice because we're straight fours, whereas the GOAT, the mighty Shadow Swampert, is 5-4s to the Hydro Cannon. You can see two Aqua Tails are going to be lethal. The opponent fires off on the CMP type, but they are going to need to Earthquake to take us out. The opponent actually fire off the Hydro Cannon, which we survived. Regardless, even would have Earthquake me there. I would have just Dragon Breath farmed down. We actually forced a Protect Shield, and then for some reason, the opponent instant throw. Not sure on that play. As Swampert wins CMP, the correct play would have been to throw forward Mud Shots, throw the next Hydro Cannon on the CMP time, maximise their energy. Kingdra gets the Dragon Breath farm down. Out comes Victory Bell. We fire off the Octazooka, force the opponent's final Protect Shield, and we pivot into Squidward. We've got two Protect Shields. We're going to burn one here on the incoming Leaf Blade. The opponent recognise they're going to get Poison Jab farm down. Send out Talonflame, sacrificing it to the Pokegods. We fire off the Scald. You know what time it is. Get that Talonflame off my screen. We're going to Poison Jab farm down Victory Bell, and I take that game. So those were the battles with my triple Shadow, triple Water team. I'll be honest, some of my plays were pretty poor, but what do you expect? After taking 10 days off, I'll be honest, I've been semi-retired for about 4 or 5 seasons now. We are playing more regularly, and we're looking to make some good plays and improve my gameplay. I think I'm quite critical of my own gameplay, so listen to what I do what I say, not what I do, and you'll do very well running Shadows in the Go Battle League. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing if you'd like your battles featured on my channel. A link to our battle submission form is down below. And as always, a huge thank you to everyone for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.